Okay, at this time I'll call our regular business to order, and I'll ask the clerk to call the roll of the board.
Commissioner Blakemore.
Present.
Commissioner Askew.
Here.
Chairman Whitfield.
Present.
Commissioner Hart.
Here.
Commissioner Stoll.
Present.
All right, thank you. At this time, in our agenda packets, there are copies of these on the back table. They're also on our website. And we have our next item on our agenda here is the approval of our actual agenda. So do we have a motion from the board to approve our agenda as presented?
I'll make the motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Blakemore to approve the agenda tonight as presented. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Mr. Stoltz. Any further discussion from the board? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimous on the approval. Okay, we do have tonight some open public hearings. The first is a request from Roberts Franks for the conditional use variance for property located at 0 Stanfield Road at Highway 27, Lafayette, Georgia. Tax map and parcel 0-324-2-004. Is there anyone here with us tonight that wanted to speak in opposition of this conditional use variance? If you want to speak in opposition. Okay, hearing or seeing no one, is there anyone here that wants to come and speak in favor of this or has any favorable comments about this? Okay, hearing or seeing none, we'll move on to our next item on our agenda. We have a request from LeBron Kelsey for a partial rezone from A1 agriculture to R3 residential for property located at 958 Kendrick Switch Road, Chickamauga. Tax map and parcel 0-262-023. Is anyone here that wants to speak in opposition of this request? Yes, sir, if you would come up to the podium for us, please. And if you would state your name, the floor will be yours.
My name is Jeff Vaughn. I live I live across the street down from Mr. LeBron. But my opposition is I don't understand why it has to be zoned R3. The R3 is allowed to put in mobile home parks or subdivisions. I know he's just got less than an acre that he's wanting to rezone, but who says if that's rezoned, his other 30-something acres, why can't it could be rezoned down the road and somebody could put a trailer park or something there.
Okay. All right. Anything additional?
That's the main thing.
Appreciate you coming and speaking. Thank you, sir. Anyone else here tonight that wants to speak in opposition of this partial rezone on Kendrick Switch Road? Okay, hearing or seeing no one, is anyone that wants to speak in favor of this rezone request? Yes, ma'am, if you'd like to come up and speak, please. And as likewise, if you just state your name for the record.
My name is Shannon Chung. I'm the daughter of LeBron Keesley. I think there was a misunderstanding. They wanted the land is zoned agriculture, and they were wanting it rezoned to be able to build a home or to place a mobile home on it for themselves, or maybe for me and my husband or my son, you know, if we needed to or wanted to. They're not trying to build a mobile home park. And if we need to have it rezoned for R2 instead of R3, we would be willing to do that. But right now my parents are getting older, and 32 acres is a lot to take care of. So they want to be able to have a retirement place. They want to be able to put a home there and be able to downsize, you know, and not have to take care of the 32 acres. You know, my mom's already on a cane, you know, and that's what they're wanting to do. They have no intentions of building a mobile home park. You know, agriculture is not, it's not beneficial to them or me as the sole heir, you know, when they're gone. Okay?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anyone else that would like to speak? Please state your name for us.
Connie Keesley. I'm part owner of the property.
When we applied for this, we thought we were applying for R1, and they called us from the office and said, would you just like us to change this where you can have either a home or a mobile home on it? So we said, well, sure, that'd be fine, you know. So when we got the sign to put up, it said R3. Well, we didn't know what a R3 was. We actually thought we were getting R2. So that's the miscommunication that she's talking about. It's probably wasn't anybody's fault. It was just we didn't understand each other over the phone. So that's why we were looking to put us a home over there in the future, to either lease out our farm or sell our farm across, because this plaque is completely across the street. It's detached from our farm, you know, at all. It's between two houses. It's across the road. It's nothing anybody has ever shown any interest in. So we were trying to get it fixed for when we get, well, we're already retired really, but, you know, as we get a little bit older, maybe go ahead and put a home over there for us and lease the farm out, because like she said, she's the sole benefactor of this farm anyway. So that's what I had to say. Thank you.
Thank you for coming to speak. Is anyone else that would like to speak on this one? Okay, hearing none, we'll move to our next public hearing, a request from Bradley Bush for a rezone from C1 commercial to R2 residential for property located at 1 Reece Street, Rossville, Georgia. Tax map and parcel number 0-174-152. Is there anyone here that would like to speak in opposition of this request for rezone? Anyone in opposition? Okay, hearing none, anyone here that wants to speak in favor of this rezone request at 1 Reece Street, Rossville? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on. Okay, that will close out our part of our open public hearings. This time we'll enter into our regular scheduled meeting. In our packets, we do have the minutes from our prior meeting back on April the 8th, 2021. Do we have a motion from the board to approve those minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from April the 8th.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Askew to approve the minutes. Do we have a second from the board?
Second.
We have a second from Commissioner Hart. Any further discussion of the board? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, those are approved. Okay, at this time, we ask for any public comments. This allows any citizen to come up that wants to speak and address their county government. We do ask that you limit your comments to 5 minutes, just due to the sake of everyone not being here too late, and keep you focused. So is there anyone that would have any items they would like to come up and make public comment about at this time? Okay, hearing none, we'll move forward. At this time is something new that we've added in our agenda, our meetings, is to have an informational time that we are first starting out with different departments within our county government and also different entities within our extended government family that we provide county tax dollar funding to. And we're going to try to feature one of these at each one of our meetings to allow them to come up and spend a few minutes to talk about how their department or their operation contributes and the assets and services that they provide for the county. So tonight it's with great privilege to introduce Jennifer Holden, and she is our director of our Department of Family and Children Services, which that office location is up there in Rock Springs next door to our Civic Center. So, Ms. Jennifer, thank you for being here, and we'll let you have the floor.
Okay, thank you so much for having me. I'm Jennifer Holden. I'm the County Director for the Walker County Division of Family and Children Services. I have been with Walker County since September of 2019, but I've been with DFACS for 21 years next month. So I love to talk about DFACS. I hate that I only have 5 minutes because I have a lot to cover, so I do have some packets to hand out for you afterwards so that you have some more information that I can leave with you. So DFACS is a state agency, and each county has their own DFACS office. Walker County is lucky enough to have 2 state agencies located in the same building. We have child support and DFACS located together, which makes it very convenient for the public. So we are state funded. We also receive federal funding, but we also receive supplemental funding from the county. And that helps to support children in foster care in Walker County and also some administrative costs. So you all decide the budget that you allow DFACS to spend every year, and we thank you for that. We put that to good use, and we hope that you remember us in a kind way this coming up year. So Walker County Commission also appoints a DFACS board. We have a 5 to 7 person citizen panel or citizen board that serves a 4-year term, and they meet monthly with us, and they oversee the spending of our county funds to make sure we're spending it responsibly and we're doing, the mission and goals of the agency and carrying out the goals for Walker County DFACS. Also, you all are our landlord. So we have one of your county buildings, and so we thank you for that. We also have, we're enjoying the renovation that you all have recently completed on our building, and we're excited to be there full-time, hopefully when the state allows us to return full-time to in-person work. We are teleworking right now, so we are working very hard at home and partly in the building. So we hope to have a reopening and a kind of a celebration when we're able to reopen the building so that everyone can see the renovation that was completed. So as far as DFACS goes, we have 2 main branches that we provide services to the community. One is OFI, which is the Office of Financial Independence. And you might recognize some of the benefits that we provide to the community with food stamps and Medicaid and temporary assistance for needy families. As far as Walker County goes, every month we supply Medicaid to over 13,000 individuals in Walker County. That's exciting to me because these are people that really need medical care. As far as food stamps goes, or they call it SNAP now. Everything's kind of got a new name. So as far as SNAP goes, every month, now this is exciting to me, the federal government allows us to spend $2.2 million every month to eligible citizens in Walker County. So that's federal dollars that are coming back to our community here that helps to support our environment here in Walker County. And every month we also provide financial assistance in the amount of about $18,000 to families in need, and usually that's grandparents raising grandchildren and people who are guardians of children and things like that. So we have fail-safes in our OFI programs that help detect fraud, that help minimize errors and things like that, because of course if we're spending federal dollars, we have to be very responsible with that. We don't like to pay penalties, so we have to make sure our work is on time and accurate. And I'm proud to say that as far as food stamps goes, we are able to, last month we processed over 99% of our new applications on time. That's really good. That's in line with the top in the state. So I'm really proud of the work that we're doing here in Walker County on our OFI side. On our social services side, that encompasses child protective services and foster care. On the child protective services side, in 2020, we received over 1,000 reports of child abuse and neglect for Walker County residents. And we were assigned over 600, about 624 of those cases were actively worked. We work with about 30 to 50 families on an ongoing monthly basis to try to resolve safety issues where children remain in the home. Sometimes there's situations where children are not safe to remain in the home, and those children enter foster care through our juvenile court here. And we have about 141 children in foster care of Walker County today. So, and we have 33 Walker County foster homes that help us with those children. We also have 2 group homes here that help with our older children. It's really hard to find foster homes willing to take in teenagers, but our group homes really do a good job helping us with those teens. All right, and I am a competitive person, but I'm proud to say that in the 11 counties in our district for social services in Region 1 DFACS, Walker County placed 4th out of 11 as far as our quality of services on our social services side. And we're the largest county that scored so well. So I am happy to be working towards number 1, but I'll take number 4 for now. So we have a high-performance team in Walker County. We're committed to customer service. We like to do our work on time. We like to do our work fast and accurate. And I have a great team of people who love to help the community and like to give back. We have several projects going on. Recently, we just did a thank you baskets for healthcare heroes and different things like that. So you might see us be, more active in the community with things like that and appreciations and events as we begin to open up more. All right. Any questions for me?
Thank you for the job that you did.
Oh, thank you for having, yes, I love my job. I love working at DFACS, and I will say that most of the people on my team love to help people, and that's why they do the work that they do, because they want to help people and they want to help the community. Okay, I'm going to leave my packets with you. It has my contact information in there in case you have any questions for me later on down the road. Okay, thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much for
Thank
coming.
you. Thank you.
Jennifer's been just a pleasure to work with. She came over, you were at Whitfield County, wasn't you?
I was.
So they were able to get her over here with us back toward the end of 2019. And you've been a great pleasure to work with, and appreciate the collaboration and all that y'all have accomplished in your office. It's been very well noted. Thank you. Okay, under our new business, we do have some proclamations that we want to talk about here tonight. And I have to put my glasses on to read this. Okay, proclamation by the Walker County Board of Commissioners, Project 52 Appreciation. Whereas the month of April was designated Volunteer Appreciation Month as part of President George H.W. Bush 1,000 Points of Lights initiative, and whereas government alone cannot meet all the needs of the community and desires partners willing to step up and serve others, and whereas volunteer groups such as Project 52 have lasting impact on our community by leading their tools and their talents to help residents with physical and financial difficulties clean up, beautify their properties, and whereas over the past 4 years, Project 52 has assisted 88 property owners removing trash, debris, and overgrowth from their yards, investing more than $25,000 in reclamation efforts, and whereas 2,044 volunteers have joined in the backyard mission to glorify God through services to others in Walker County. Therefore, I, Chairman of Shannon Kate Whitfield, on behalf of the Walker County Board of Commissioners, do hereby extend our deepest appreciation to Project 52 and their volunteers for their hard work, dedication, and passion for service in our community by committing to share its responsibilities of caring for others. You are truly making a difference in the lives of our residents. Signed and sealed the 22nd day of April 2021. And as y'all probably well know, it's also Earth Day, so it's very appropriate that y'all are here. So I want to ask Chris Robertson if he would come up, and anyone else that you have with you. We'd like to present you with this proclamation and thank y'all for all the hard work that you do.
Thank you, Shannon.
Very much. And we would like to ask you to speak and maybe give us some more information. I know y'all had a big day in Walker County today, and I'd like for you to give everybody an update on that.
Yeah, sure. First of all, I want to thank Jennifer. My daughter's a DFACS worker in Dade County, and I know she's probably connected with you often, so I understand where your heart is. Today, even Chattanooga Christian School came down, and we were working in the Rossville area. We worked at 9 different projects with 9 different dumpsters. Probably around 30 tons of trash will be out of Rossville as a result of the work that the students did today. And that's not uncommon for what we do. We're a nonprofit ministry. We glorify the Lord in many ways, but this is one of the ways that we do it, and that's our chief end. I can't thank David Brown enough for what he has done in terms of, I would call him the catalyst between us and being able to do these things in the community. And Shannon, you've been very appreciative and grateful of having us a part of this county and doing the work that we do. I think, you said some of the numbers since 2017, I think they were. We want to continue that with you all. We have a lot of partners that want to come into this county and do that. Students, adults, different churches are committed to Walker County to do this very work, and I can't thank you enough for opening up the avenues of ministry for us in doing this. And, you know, I don't know, Chris, do you want to say something?
Y'all be sure too and speak about the collaboration with Covenant College and what y'all do the
Yeah.
start of the year.
I'm a professor up at Covenant, and so the freshmen they have to go out and do something. And one of the things they have to do is serve the community. So we've been able to commit, it's usually around 200 folks, 250 students that go into the valley and do things. Also, Martin Luther King Day, we've had a bunch of students come out as well. But there's a connection that we have with Walker County on Lookout, but also down in the valley. It's often Covenant seen as this castle on the hill and kind of sequestered off by itself. But that college really wants to get involved in the community, and this is one way that we are able to do that. So it's a wonderful connection that I have, ready-made volunteers that, yes, sometimes forced, but other times, they really want to do it, and to see the students get excited about that as well. So, yeah, thanks for pointing that out.
Anything to add?
Well, I'm Chris Fair. I'm chairman of the board, and I've been with P52 since 2014, I guess. And one thing that encourages us is just the opportunity to work with a government and show that it can be done. You know, a ministry and a government can work hand in hand and do good for the county, for the people. And we're greatly encouraged by that and the opportunity you guys give us to partner with you. So from the board, we say thank you, and we hope to continue to work and glorify God in what we do here in Walker County.
Well, your whole team has been phenomenal to work with, and we're very thankful for y'all giving back to the community. And the first time David approached me and says, hey, they want to bring down the whole freshman class of Covenant College and spend a whole day cleaning up parts of Walker County, that just blew my mind. And y'all have done that consistently now for several years in a row. Y'all filling up 9 dumpsters today is pretty incredible. But we have people in the community that have a desire a lot of times to have their property cleaned up, but they don't have the physical or financial ability to do that. And so when we find those folks in our community, we pass that information on to this team, and they reach out to them and say, hey, we'll do this for you at no cost. And so it brings property into our code compliance, it beautifies the county. It's basically us passing a name and forming a relationship, and then y'all take it from there. And y'all just done a phenomenal job, and I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for all that y'all have done for all the many citizens of Walker County. So thank y'all very much.
Thank you.
Okay, we have another great proclamation here today. Proclamation by the Walker County Board of Commissioners designate May 2nd through the 8th, 2021 as Patriot Week. Whereas the Constitution of the United States of America is the supreme law of the land, and the Second Amendment of the Constitution guarantees individuals the right to keep and bear arms in a manner that shall not be infringed. And whereas OCGA 1-26A9 lists the right to keep and bear arms among the rights of the citizens of the state of Georgia that are without limitations. And whereas the Board of Commissioners of Walker County express its opposition to any law, regulation, or other act that would infringe on the Second Amendment rights of the Walker County citizens, and calls upon the Georgia legislators and the United States Congress to preserve, uphold, and protect the rights of all citizens to keep and bear arms. And whereas Walker County is rich in generational respect and reverence for these sacred rights dating back to the formation of the county in 1833, surrendering of such rights by our citizens only serves to strip away at our time-honored culture, tradition, and whereas the citizens of Walker County derive economic and social benefit from safe forms of firearm, recreation, hunting, shooting, conducted within Walker County. And whereas there are 9,416 Georgia weapon carry license holders in Walker County, and countless other residents who own firearms for hunting and protecting of their family and loved ones. Therefore, I, Commissioner Shannon K. Whitfield, on behalf of the Walker County Board of Commissioners, do hereby proclaim May the 2nd through the 8th, 2021 is Patriot Week in Walker County, to recognize all freedoms guaranteed by the Constitution of the United States of America, including but not limited to the time-honored right to keep and bear arms. Furthermore, this body desires the first week of May to be designated as such in all future years. Signed and sealed the 22nd day of April 2021. We did a similar proclamation last year, and we wanted to keep this going in Walker County to recognize a week in Walker County as Patriot Week, to honor and to salute the rights that we have from our Constitution. And so we've got several copies of this here. Is there anyone here that would like a copy of this proclamation, or anyone here?
Commissioner, I think they want to see us at the event.
Yes.
On May the 8th, and that's where they.
Okay. Okay, all right. We'll do that on May the 8th, and so there'll be more information coming out about that. So we thank them for that. Okay, next item that we have is we have some purchase orders. Purchase order number 2021-113. This is Adman Electric for new underground wiring and the transformer by EPB. In the packet, there's also some photos of a situation that we ran into up at our Rossville Athletic Center. And you will see that we had a pole just to break. And there was actually, fortunately, no one around, but there was a car on the other side of the parking lot. They were sitting there, a couple of people waiting on somebody, and they actually saw it fall. And when the first transformer pole fell, it fell into the second one, so you had 2 power poles that snapped in half and 6 transformers that busted open, and all of the oil run out of those. And so Adman Electric had done a lot of work for us at that facility over time, and had really been a good community partner. So they were actually on the scene that evening to help us with this. EPB was phenomenal. They got a team out that evening as well. I think they got there, it was probably around 8:30, quarter to 9, and they brought in some equipment to clean up the oil spill, excavate the dirt, contain everything so there wasn't any environmental impact. And so what we do in our government now is anytime we have unusual circumstances of needing to expend more than $25,000 or have other capital purchases, we always want to bring these publicly before the community to make them informed of what we're doing and how we're investing those dollars. And so our first purchase order here tonight is for $41,932.57 to Adman Electric for the work that they did to get us back in business from electrical standpoint and put all of this underground so we won't have this problem in the future. So do we have a motion from the board to approve this purchase order for Adman Electric?
Motion to approve this purchase order.
We have a motion by Commissioner Stoltz. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Commissioner Blakemore. Any further discussion of the board? All right, hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, we'll sign this purchase order into our records. Okay, in conjunction with this project, the portion that from EPB, like I said, we went from 6 above-ground transformers down to 1 pad-mounted transformer, and the cost for what EPB did is $18,003.06 on purchase order 2021-1114. So we have a motion from the board to approve this purchase order.
Yes, I'll make a motion.
We have a motion by Commissioner Hart. Do we have a second?
I'll second
We have
that.
a second by Commissioner Askew. Any further discussion of the board? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, this purchase order is approved as presented. Okay, this next item is a purchase order 2021-1149. This is to Wade Meter Box is the name of the company. This is for a water project at the East Armuchee Community Center for $57,500. This is to install approximately 500 foot of 6-inch scheduled 40 pipe. Also the installation of some 2-inch pipe the same distance, and also to install a fire hydrant, tie everything into the main, and all the associated work that needs to be done. When this facility was built several years back, there wasn't public water in the Armuchee Valley. Everything over there that everyone has is on wells. And so when they built this, when the county built this, they put in a storage tank for the water and tied into a well and a pump system. It's been fairly problematic the last few years. We have to go over there, and it's a pretty high-touch event to keep that system going. We've got some valves that need to be replaced. We've got some repair works that needs to be done already to the tank. And so probably about 6 or 7 years ago, I guess, the Water Authority actually ran public water to the West Armuchee community. So we have a 6 or an 8-inch water main that runs right through the front yard on the right-of-way. So this is also an emergency shelter. We have a generator system there, and we want to be able to make sure that if we have a disaster, that we have water. Also, I'm not sure if it made it into these notes, but one of the things that was discovered when we were doing this, yeah, I think that page's not here, is that the fire suppression system, the sprinkler system, it needs to be fully functional to work properly. It needs 500 gallons a minute of water flow if that was to go off. And it's only getting now about 200 to 300 gallons a minute of fire flow if we had a water flow if we had a fire. So trying to look at the best way to manage this, to try to get more water volume, more water pressure. The best solution is to get on public water and do away with the pump, the well, and also the storage tank. So the best option that we've got here is with Mike Wade with Wade Meter Box of Lafayette for $57,550. So is there any further discussion on this from the board, or Brian, do you have any comment? I know this is right there in your back door.
No, it is. To be honest with you, I was talking to David about it. I had forgotten that system was even on a well. So the water line runs right to the front yard, yet it's not on it. So I think it's great to do that. That center's used quite a bit there, so appreciate Mr. Wade doing that.
Yes. All right, do we have a motion to approve this purchase order from the board?
Motion to approve.
All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Stoltz. Do we have a second?
Yes, second.
We have a second by Commissioner Hart. Any further discussion of the board? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, we'll approve this purchase order and get this project going. Also, too, it's on my agenda here, and I forgot to mention this. The county will be receiving some of the money that Congress just recently passed in the $1.9 billion stimulus American Rescue Fund. And so we don't have all of the guidelines from the federal government of what the funding can be used for, but we feel pretty confident that this project will meet those requirements. And so we are setting this up in our accounting system to be an item that would be used out of those American Rescue Funds that are forthcoming to us. And so that will keep us from having to pull that out of our general fund. Okay, now we're going to get into our request from Robert Franks for a conditional use variance for property located at 0 Stanfield Road, Highway 27, Lafayette, tax map and parcel 0-324-2004. Do we have anyone here from our Planning Commission that wants to speak on this? Okay.
David. Mr. Brown, would you give us a little heads up on the Planning Commission's recommendations on these, please?
Which one?
Mr. Franks, Robert Franks.
Yeah, he came before the planning and zoning. They're looking at buying some acreage off the bypass on 27. And right now it was residential. And to do what he's doing as far as his trucking business, ask for conditional use variance because there's not actually any commercial except down the road a little bit. And that way it would stay. If they get out of the trucking business, the hauling business, it will go back to residential. So it was a unanimous vote to approve on the planning and zoning.
Okay, thank you, sir. All right, any discussion of this from our board?
That's the relocation from the Lafayette facility, downtown Lafayette out.
Yes, that's correct. Anybody else? Okay, this is a recommendation that comes from the Planning Commission. And then we had our public hearing here tonight. There was also a public hearing at the last Planning Commission meeting last Thursday. It is their recommendation to this body that this be approved. And so what is the pleasure of the board?
I make a motion that we support their recommendation.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Hart to support this recommendation of approval for the conditional use variance. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a second by Commissioner Blakemore. Any further discussion of the board? All right, hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, we'll sign this as approved as submitted to the Board of Commissioners. Okay, the next item that we have is request from LeBron Kelsey for the partial rezone from A1 agriculture to R3 residential for property located at 958 Kendrick Switch Road, Chickamauga, Georgia, tax map and parcel 0-262-023. Mr. Brown, can you give us an overview and the recommendation from the Planning Commission?
The Planning and Zoning Commission voted unanimously to deny this due to the fact that it was an A1 he was asking for, and I think there was a confusion. I do apologize. We did the R3 to match the closest to A1 as far as what is allowed on property. If you'd went with the R1, that's the most restricted, and with your property, the way it's laid out, we've looked at it, there's only 0.59 acres of that land on that side of the road. And to be able to put anything that will perk, have a home, it needed to go to R3 because they talked about a mobile home. Mobile home's not allowed in R1, okay? So, and it was denied because some of the members felt that it was spot zoning because everything around it is A1.
Okay, so you said that was unanimous?
Denial.
Denial,
yes.
okay, is recommendation. Okay, thank you.
I've got a question or two, if you don't mind. So 0.59.
0.59, yes.
And I'm familiar with the location, or fairly familiar with the location. So square footage requirements for septic, R1, R2, R3, or how close are we on the square footage requirements for the lot size for septic? Because if I'm not mistaken, that would be septic there, correct?
It is septic. There's not sewer available. It is available across at Cloudland Station, but understand that is a private sewer system.
They maintain that themselves.
They
correct?
maintain it. He put it in. He spent $2 million putting that system in. And he sent me an email yesterday that he would consider letting people tie into it, but the price that he would require to tie into his system is up close to 6 figures. Because that is his system set only for Cloudland Station. That's what it's there for. And now you were quoted a price of $700, but that was if you tapped into Walker County water and sewer system. That's the tap fee for that. They didn't understand that it was a private sewer system.
You know, when they told me Monday that it would cost me $770 to tap onto that system.
If it was Walker County water and sewer, but not a privately owned system. John Tatum would have to give you permission to tap into his system.
Okay, any further discussion or questions of the board?
Well, I see what they're, I understand what they're trying to do and want to try to be as helpful as we can. However, I'm concerned, just because of my knowledge of the area with the septic, if sewer is not an option, if that's not an option, which that's not up to us, I'm wondering, have you had any soil work done on that site to see if it could be used for residential? Haven't done anything like that yet? Okay.
We were actually told that after it was rezoned, that the county would come out and do a perk test on it.
Well, you'll have to go through the environmental health department, and they'll require a soil scientist to come out and do actual soil work. A perk test is not valid anymore. They'll do soil work and determine whether that soil will classify to take the waste. And so I'm not trying to complicate things at all, but I feel like we need a little more information as far as to grant a rezone to a residential. I'd like to know that we can use it for residential. I don't want to hold up a project, but I don't want us to put the cart ahead of the horse and do something that's not going to be able to be used. I think I would like to and this is if you guys are willing to move forward with some soil work and see what you could do there. I don't know that it wouldn't be appropriate to table this matter until we could get more information before we actually ruled on it. I just think that it's I've been in the building and the codes and building inspection for quite some time, so I know we're pushing the limits there, and I know the soil's very rocky there and clay, and I don't want us to get, like I said, get the cart ahead of the horse, grant you guys something that's not going to be of use, and it's kind of a moot point. So does that make sense to you?
Yeah, I used to be a licensed installer.
Yes, sir.
So I understand what you're talking about. It may be suitable for a septic system, or it may cost me several $1,000s to build this up and let it sit for 2 or 3 years and then put a system in it. I understand that.
Okay.
Commissioner Askew, he also needs to look at setbacks. Because of the lay of the land, the way it cuts in and out, the county has setbacks from property lines from the center of the road, and we checked it, and you're gonna be very limited on what size, if you put a mobile home in there, what you can put in there.
Yeah, we're not planning on a mobile home. This kind of got, I think this just kind of got blown out of proportion when the R3 showed up. By us not knowing, especially me, because I don't hear good, and I hear things that, or I should hear that I don't hear, but our intention was probably building a house over there to spend the rest of our time in, instead of having to go out and buy something somewhere else and not. I think I can deed 4.5 acres across the road, but I still got land on both sides that's kind of useless. So,
One other question. So on the R2 zone on that, where that would eliminate that mobile home.
R2 is you're allowed a mobile home in the R2, but it has to be a 16 wide.
Had to be a 16
Yes.
wide.
Whereas the R3 is so close to agriculture, you can put any size mobile home. It can be a 14. R2 limits you, R1 mobile homes are not allowed. And like I said, I want you to look at your setbacks too, because you're gonna be very limited where you can build. It's gonna be closer to the south end where it's wider.
yeah. No, I think they told me it was a 60-foot setback from the center of the road.
60 foot, then 15 from each property line. And the way yours goes in,
And from the back property line, 15 on the sides and 15 on the back as well? on that?
15 front side, 1560 from the road.
What's the board's pleasure here on this?
I want to make a motion that we support the planning and zoning decision. However, I would encourage you all to check, like Mark said, about your septic and see what would occur there, and work with David Brown on that and look at, actually look and see what you could build there. And when you decide that, go back and revisit with the planning and zoning board and try again.
Okay, so the motion we have on the floor is to deny this rezone request. Do we have a second for that? We have a motion. Do we have a second from the board to deny the request? All right, hearing none, the motion fails due to support.
If I may, I'd maybe like to revisit the possibility of tabling this issue until they can get some information and bring that before us. I understand what Commissioner Hart's, and that makes fully sense that we need the information. If they're willing to get some information and bring and come back, we can look at it. It's going to be very tough. I'm just telling you. I've looked at it, and just to fit something on there is going to be very, very tough with the soil classifications and all that are out there. But I just think with a little more information would help us. But I don't think that R3 is the answer. Like I said, I understand the concerns of the neighbors and the community out there. There are a lot of nice homes out in that area, and so we understand that. We want to try to work together with everybody, knowing that you'd rather put a house there and not a mobile home. Then I'd like to know if it's suitable for you to put a house there, and then I could feel better about reversing the planning commission's decision. But if it would be best, if y'all think it would be best, what do you guys think?
I'll second your motion to table it.
Would you get some information for us and get back with Mr. Brown? And you could actually lay out the property and show us where you could fit a house and get some soil work done, then I think we could look at that.
Well, I actually have a call into Compton about resurveying that area to where it's been surveyed in 20%, and we bought it in 09, but they're saying they may have to resurvey the whole 32 acres in order to cut this piece out. But they're checking on that to see but I want to find out exactly where the lines are, because, that orange tape kind of gets away from people.
That's the point, is that we don't know exactly, to go out there and pull measurements and get setbacks, we need a little more definitive marks, to be able to. So I just feel like some more information would really be needed before we could. So, my only problem with making them revisit is there a fee involved with them coming back to the planning commission?
We would waive the fee.
Okay, all right.
I would waive that.
Now, if that be the case, if we could waive the fee for them coming back, I would support Commissioner Hart's initial motion to uphold the planning commission's decision until we can get some more information, and then at no fee, you would be able to come back to them, bring the information, and we'd look at it here and there. I would support that.
Okay. So would you like to restate your motion?
My motion was to support the decision they made and not rezone it to R3, and to encourage you all to work with David and work with the soil scientist and get that surveyed and revisit with David for no fee.
Okay, so we have a motion to denial, but I'd like to see y'all work with the office to see if you can come up with a solution, maybe for a house. So do we have a second?
I'll second that motion as stated by Commissioner Hart.
Okay, so do we have any further discussion of the board? All right, hearing none, we'll call for a vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, this one will be denied at this time. Okay, next one we have is request Brady Bush for a rezone from C1 commercial to R2 residential for property located at 1 Reece Street, Rossville, Georgia, tax map and parcel 0-174-152. Mr. Brown, can you give us an update on this one, please, sir?
I blew up a picture of the map in our office, and I'll show you what has happened. McFarland Avenue, from where Highway 2 cut it off at Dodd Brothers, all the way to the park. If you'll notice, it's commercial. There's 200 foot from the center of McFarland Avenue, north and south side, that is commercial. Rest of it's residential. That house that Mr. Bush bought was built in 1954. Our map is dated 1981. And if you'll notice the dark line at the bottom of the page, that's where the commercial ends. And 152 is the house he bought. That house, part of 151, it's a split zone. It's commercial, residential. It's on both sides of McFarland Avenue all the way to the park. Zoned that way.
Okay, so what you're explaining to us is that this property that we're talking about here on parcel 152 is already a residential, has been a residential since
1954.
Since 1954.
And when zoning came through, they rezoned it commercial, and that's the way it's been ever since.
So they're wanting to get the zoning to R2. So the Planning Commission on April 15th, their recommendation was to approve this with conditions that the remodel start within 18 months.
Mr. Bush, if this is approved, or he has already got contractors lined up, he will pull permits starting next week. I've talked to him. He is actually in Oklahoma. He didn't want to fly down twice, so I was given the opportunity to speak for him.
Okay. Any board member have any questions for Mr. Brown on this request? Okay, hearing none, what's the pleasure of the board? Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the request.
Okay, so we have a motion by Commissioner Blakemore to approve the request. Does your motion include the conditions to start as well within 18 months as recommended?
Yes.
Okay, so we have a motion as submitted by the Planning Commission with the remodeling start within 18 months. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Commissioner Hart. Any further discussion of the board? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, approved as submitted. Okay, at this time, we have our statistical data that we put out each month, and we have our March statistics. We always start out with our animal shelter. It was 139 dogs that were taken in and 24 cats. There was 108 animals that were either adopted, rescued, or returned on the dogs, and 21 on the cats. There was no animals that had to be euthanized this month of March. Code enforcement properties that were reviewed in compliance was 2,175 properties. There were 63 violations or citations that were written. There was 28 properties that were brought into compliance, and code officers were able to sign off on those and show those in good standing now. Our fire department responded to 263 calls for service. That was handled by 564 responding units. The fire department installed 10 new smoke alarms in homes in Walker County. Our litter control was able to pick up 15,080 pounds of roadside trash off the roads. That brought us our 3-month total to 45,340 pounds of trash in just the first 90 days of the year. Night stayed at Mountain Cove Farm was 58 nights stayed in March. Single-family home construction was 13 new permits pulled, so that gets us for 37 new permits in 2021. Media impression stories or stories that we could track by the local media and also the Chattanooga media. There was 67 stories we were able to identify that was talking about Walker County. Facebook followers added to our Facebook page, 199 new followers, and we were able to get 69 new posts made in the month of March. Our website visits continue to be strong at 59,350 visits. And then we added 66 new folks to our newsletter subscription. That gets us up to 677 new subscribers in the month, or excuse me, for 2021. We are paving roads, but we're also having to patch potholes as we go. With the nice weather and temperatures above 50 degrees, we was able to get a lot of potholes patched. It was 689 potholes that we were able to get patched up. And then our transit volume is increasing with less COVID restrictions across our state, with 1,448 transit trips that were logged in the month of March through our transit service. So at this time of our meeting, we like to give the district commissioners an opportunity to share what's going on in their districts and bring any information or make any public comments that they would like at this time. So we'll start here on my right, District 1, Commissioner Blakemore.
I'd just like to thank everybody for coming out, and thank Robert Wardlaw and Lucky IQ, and thank everybody that came out and made that first benefit fundraiser for the Playground of Success. Follow the Facebook at Operation Rossville Playground. There is some upcoming things. There's a cake auction going to be on that page the Friday before Mother's Day. We do have a softball tournament planned the last weekend of, it's the 30th, May 1st and 2nd, I believe. And we do have some paving going on. Happy Valley Road is newly paved and striped, and so we do have positive things going on in District 1, and just thank everybody for being here.
Commissioner Askew?
I'd like to follow up with Commissioner Blakemore and thank all the participation. The more participation we have, the better we can help govern. Do have our Tennessee Valley Credit Union has broken ground there in Chickamauga. There, that new branch that's coming, so we're looking forward to seeing them get up and running. Like you mentioned earlier, Earth Day, we had a very nice video put out on our county website with some participating citizens, and so I'd say put a lid on it, put a lid on the litter, and just like I said, thank everybody for bearing with us and working with us and bringing your comments and suggestions and all of it, because it does help us. So thank you for that.
Okay, Commissioner Hart.
I would like to point out in District 3, one of the areas I represent is the West Armuchee area, and our community center there has kind of laid dormant for a while, but Miss Lynn Robertson lives in that area. She stepped up and going to start managing that for us. So if you live in the West Armuchee area and want to use that center, you can contact her, and her number will be listed at the county office. Another thing to mention is, remember, tomorrow is the Walk in Lafayette, a walk to end sexual violence. That's tomorrow from 11 to 2. I'm sure all you guys will be there to support that, right, Mark? We're going to race on that, right? Me and you.
Hey, you ready?
But that'll be a great event. It's here at Joe Stott Park in Lafayette. And the last thing I want to put out, our county extension office is doing a Forge Field Day in conjunction with Catoosa County and who else, Karen? Catoosa County, I think Dade County is working with that, but that's over in Catoosa County. That is next week, so if you're interested in that, see our county agent about that, and he can...
next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday, correct. Next Tuesday, the 27th, right. Right. So thank you very much, Robert.
Thank you, sir. I want to thank everyone for coming tonight, and I want to start out by saying this Saturday, evening at 6 o'clock, I'm going to conduct a town hall meeting at the Mount Pleasant Community Center up on 157 on Lookout Mountain. It will be a covered dish event, so if you'd like to come, bring a covered dish, and everybody up there, including me, likes to eat. So looking forward to that. After dinner, then I'll just make a few comments on how things are going in District 4. Second of all, I would like to mention the Walker County Community Emergency Response Team is looking for volunteers. This is a wonderful volunteer organization. They volunteer for disaster assistance, and if you're interested in that, you can find them on Facebook, or you can call the Walker County Fire Department headquarters for some information. And finally, I would like to thank a couple of people in this room for working very hard on our proclamation for Patriots Day. I want to thank Robert Wardlaw, and I want to thank David Gottlieb. They both put in a lot of time, a lot of research to get this done and get it done right. I'm very excited to be part of this board with regard to this proclamation for the Second Amendment, as well as Patriots Day. As a longtime NRA member, I am just really excited about supporting our Second Amendment rights in Walker County. I feel as though Walker County is making a stand regarding our Second Amendment rights, and I'm just extremely excited about that. Thank you.
Thank you. A couple of things I want to share and add to the comments. Back, I guess it was first part of January, when the COVID vaccine started rolling out, there was a lot of people trying to get those vaccines, and it was overwhelming all of our health departments throughout the entire state. And so county government wanted to step up and be a part of that solution. So we stood up a COVID vaccine hotline at our Civic Center and set up 20 computer stations. Telephone, voice over IP system was provided to us at no charge by Ringo Telephone Company. So I wanted to say a big thank you to Ringo Telephone Company. They come in and provided all the back-end support for the phone system, provided the handsets, all the technology switching and everything, got us up running within 48 hours. So we really was able to help our health department be able to start logging calls and start getting where people could get appointments. And I think the first day we logged over 1,600 calls, I believe it was, that first day. So we had a great group of people coming in and working those phones. And the mission really was to take and help people get a vaccine, get on the list. And so that has now come to a point where our call volume is just almost down to nothing. We're getting 15, 20 calls a day. And so we feel like we've accomplished that mission. The health departments across the state have implemented a website they're using Microsoft's backbone system to be able to handle pretty much unlimited volume. So you can go to the Walker County Health Department website if you want to get the Moderna vaccine, and you can sign up online 24 hours a day, 7 days a week through their web portal. Also, we are continuing our partnership with Dade, Catoosa, and Walker County for the vaccine station at the Colonnade in Catoosa County. And you can also go to our county website or Dade County's site or Catoosa County's website and link over to the appointment schedule there, and it will give you the days of the week that you can get a Pfizer vaccine there. And so they're having some days there where they're giving over 1,000 vaccines per day. I know Commissioner Stoltz has been over several times working and assisting with that, giving vaccines with his medical credentials and background. So thank you for doing that for the citizens of Walker County. So that continues, but we have started today. We just took that 800 number that we've had published, and we've ported that over to the Commissioner's office so the staff there can handle that lower call volume without any problems. So we're still supporting that. We're still going to continue our joint efforts with with Dade and Catoosa County with the vaccination station, and also supporting our health department but we had scaled down the call center over time, and we're down to just a skeleton crew, and it was time to take and go ahead and decommission that call center and revert those calls over to the Commissioner's office. Also, too, one thing I'm excited about, there's some flyers there on the back table. This will also be pushed out on our social media. But starting Monday, May the 3rd, 2021, we're going to be able to open up our animal shelter back up to the public, where we've been closed for COVID concerns to protect our staff. But we've got some new safety features and protocols and things in place. And so on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, the shelter will be open to receive citizens from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., and then Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2. We will be closed to the public on Thursdays and Sundays. The staff still is there every day feeding and taking care of the animals, but we will only be serving the public those 5 days a week. You can also call for an appointment. If there's a scheduling issue, they'll try to accommodate you. If there's a better time, they can do some appointments over and above that time schedule. So you can call 706-375-2100, or we do have our online adoption application on our website, and you can search that link, or that link's also here on this paper. So that will be starting Monday, May the 3rd. Should have everything ready to go by that date. So that's pretty much the items that I had. And at this time, our next item on our agenda, if needed, is a executive session. So if a board member, if we feel we need to have an executive session, if you want to make that motion and state the reason for the executive session.
Motion to adjourn to executive session to discuss personnel issues.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Stoltz to adjourn to executive session to discuss personnel. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
I have a second by Commissioner Blakemore. Any further discussion? Hearing none of the board, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. We will adjourn to executive session, and once we complete that, we will be back to close out our meeting at that time. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Joe Legee, Public Relations Director for Walker County Government. The board has just entered executive session. This is a process that allows elected officials to discuss a specific, sensitive topic behind closed doors. These are topics that are exempt from the Georgia Open Meetings Act. Executive session topics must fall into one of three categories: litigation, real estate, or personnel matters. In terms of litigation, the need may arise for the board to consult with the county attorney on pending or potential lawsuits, settlements, claims, administrative proceedings, or other judicial actions brought by or against Walker County government, its officers, or employees. Real estate covers discussions regarding the future purchase or acquisition, disposal, or lease of property. Personnel matters would cover the discussion or deliberation on the appointment, employment, compensation, hiring, disciplinary action, or dismissal of a Walker County government officer or employee. Now, if a vote is needed pertaining to an issue discussed in the executive session, it must be taken in an open meeting. Otherwise, it is not binding. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back in a bit.
Okay, it is 9:32 on August 22nd. Board of Commissioners has just finished out our executive session, so there's no action items to come out of our executive session. So the last item on our agenda is to officially close out and adjourn our meeting. So do we have a motion to adjourn our meeting?
Yes, sir.
So we have a motion by Commissioner Hart to adjourn. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Have a second by Commissioner Blakemore. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, motion's adjourned. Please appreciate everyone watching, and y'all have a good night. Thank you.